o'clock, you call me for. I say come through the back, you knock on front door. I say call me 3 o'clock, you call me for. I say come through the back, you knock on front door. Hey, I say bouncing hard, you cost me get catch, cost me get catch. You say bouncing hard, you cost me get bouncing hard, you cost me get bouncing hard, you cost me get catch, cost me get catch. You say bouncing hard, you cost me get bouncing, cost me get catch. When I out with my wife, I don't know you, so stop looking at me like you wanna. When I out with my wife, I don't know you, so stop looking at me like you wanna. Girl, you're embarrassing hard, cause me get catch, cause me get catch. You're embarrassing hard, you cause me get bad, cause me get, you cause me get embarrassing hard, you cause me get catch, cause me get catch. You're embarrassing hard, you cause me get bad, cause me get catch. So bad, oh I don't believe that. Hey, you don't start that rock as I fight my wife in the yard. Hey, so biggity bad, I don't believe that. Hey, you don't start that rock as I fight my wife in the yard. Hey, now my wife says she leaving me. Baby, we going, we going. Hey, man, no man move like that, man. Baby, don't open her feet down. No, I said I go on this up. Baby, oh, baby, baby, can't catch you. Baby, please, you cause me can't catch you. Baby, 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 baby. I was fixed, I was fixed, I was fixed. Oh, I was fixed, take me to church. 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 I was fixed. Oh, she had my socks and was very deep in the room. Underneath some prickles, I did not know what to do. When the witch doctor me the truth, this woman had me lined up to divorce you. Hey, I was fixed, take me to church. 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 She gonna tell the pastor on me. He blocked my eye and he lay hands on me. Now I in church, staying Christian. But Sister Mary just tell me she wants some.
Tonight, expect more power outages. That's the word from BPL officials despite mounting frustrations after an island-wide blackout. Also, recent repatriates say they've fallen victim to alleged physical abuse and mistreatment by immigration officers. And later, a nurse says her role as a protest leader has made her a target of retaliation. Eyewitness News starts now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jose Etienne. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping news tonight, a prolonged island-wide blackout plunging New Providence into darkness for hours, reigniting doubts over the government's energy reform plans despite repeated assurances of progress. The power outage followed a massive fire at a Bahamas Power and Light substation, resulting in what is being described now as a tedious process to restore electricity. Now, while Linton Ritchie Jr. just recently wrapped up a walkabout with Prime Minister Philip Davis at the Blue Hill and Soldier Road plant, he joins us live with the latest. Linton, what could you tell us?
Good evening, Jose. That's right. Joining you live here from the Bahamas Power and Light Blue Hill Road Power Substation, where this facility was at the center of last night's blackout that sends the nation capital into darkness. Now, just a few moments ago, we had the opportunity to take a tour of the facility where that explosion occurred with Prime Minister Philip Davis. It was way beyond further down here at the Blue Road Power Substation. Of course, we had to put on helmets and vests to go to that spot, but now we're back at the front. But during that walkabout, Prime Minister Davis assessed the damage with BPL officials. Of course, they revealed that a transformer exploded as a result of an underground cable fault. Now, currently, right now, I can tell you that beyond from where we are standing, there are persons who are doing their hard work to, of course, repair that underground cable. We learned that it would take about some 8 to 10 hours, and during that time, there will still be some blackouts in different pockets of New Providence. But let's take a look back as to what took place last night.
So we started where we brought on the inner part of the Blue Hills area. We then moved to the east and then the south. and now we're dealing with the central and the western part of New Providence. So all in all, we can't just click a switch and have the light back on.
Sparks and flames erupting from Bahamas Power and Light's Blue Hill primary substation, plunging New Providence into hours of darkness overnight as thick black smoke billowed into the sky. For thousands of residents, the first signs of electricity did not return until nearly 7 a.m. Director of Planning, Engineering and Facilities at BPL, Kevin Gilbert, says officials acted as soon as the fire was extinguished.
As a result of the fault on the 15 MVA transformer, the breaker did not close, so that fault went back to our generating stations, which caused the blackout here in New Providence. That area had to be properly isolated from the system. We had to make sure that our personnel who went out there to inspect the scene was safe.
Initial investigations indicated that an underground cable fault resulted in the explosion of a 15 MVA transformer, leading to the blackout. In a statement, Minister of Energy Jobeth Colby Davis revealed that due to the failure, technicians saw it as a must to, quote, immediately isolate critical equipment to protect personnel and the wider electricity system. That decision sending the nation's capital to darkness. Describing power restoration following the island-wide blackout as the most technically demanding operations, officials say units had to be brought on in a control sequence. Why? To manage electrical loads to prevent further failures.
The system has to come on incrementally. So once we do that, we start to look at various parts of the system that we can bring on from a safety aspect.
Hoping to ease the sweat off of Bahamians and bring electricity back into their homes, BPL staffers reportedly worked through the night, and while operations are continuing, officials are asking for grace.
We apologize for any inconvenience caused, but at this point in time, like I said, we've been working from about 2 o'clock this morning trying to get the system up and running, and our aim is to make sure we please you, our customers. So bear with us as we continue to do what we need to do.
Now, of course, Jose, we had the opportunity to question the Prime Minister and Bahamas Power and Light officials as to how sure the Bahamian people can be that following this cable being repaired, we cannot see anymore. We do not see any more blackouts for the summer. Of course, officials say that they do not want to make any promises, but they are doing their best to ensure that this repair to that underground cable, of course, will not be a result as to what we saw happened here last night into this morning. Now, of course, we did also question Prime Minister Davis about could consumers of Bahamas Power and Light see some type of adjustment to their bills as a result of the many blackouts experienced so far this summer. He said that he is in conversation with BPL officials on that matter, and he's hoping to bring an announcement to the Bahamian public soon. Now, of course, reporting live here from the Bahamas Power and Light Blue Hill Road substation, I'm Linton Ritchie Jr., sending it back to you at the desk. Jose.
Thanks so much, Linton. Well, as frustration continues to mount over ongoing power outages across New Providence, Prime Minister Philip Davis is asking Bahamians for patience. Davis argues his government inherited a failing power infrastructure, and while significant progress, he says, is being made, he also says setbacks are inevitable as officials work to build a more resilient and reliable energy network.
Just to understand what is happening at BPL, I think incidents like these remind us of the state of play of BPL. We inherited a very archaic and end of life most times system, and the only way to have it repaired is to replace much of what we're doing, hence the replacement of grid and the other components that's necessary to ensure safe and reliable electricity through transmission and distribution. And so my visit here is just to affirm our commitment to the major transformation that we have undertaken to ensure that we do in fact have a reliable and affordable system of electricity. But as I indicated, it is incidents like this that demonstrate what we have inherited, and we are fixing it.
Residents across New Providence are being warned to expect additional power outages in the days ahead as BPL works to restore the network following Thursday morning substation explosion. BPL Chief Executive Officer Tony Pratt says the damage is extensive, and while crews, she says, are making progress, the complex restoration effort will require planned outages to safely reconnect customers.
As a result of the magnitude of the fault, it did result in an island-wide blackout that shut down all of our generation at Blue Hills Power Station and Clifton Pier Power Station. The team systematically restored supply to the majority of the island, and as repairs are being completed on the fault, on the cables, and restoration to the transformer, there is going to be some additional outages until these repairs are completed. So we do want to apologize to the residents of New Providence because we know that it's an inconvenience. We know that it is very, very hot, and we understand your frustration, and we are working as safely and as quickly as we possibly can to restore supply.
The island-wide power outage also deepening residents' frustration over what has been persistent energy woes in recent weeks, now igniting fresh questions on whether consumers are getting value for the money they're paying. Our Rebecca Bain takes it from here.
It's inconvenient and it's uncomfortable.
It just seems to be going on and on and on. Every day is something new. How do you expect us to manage?
Light off, the fan off, everything just off.
Just hours after many residents expressed frustration over higher electricity bills, an island-wide power outage plunged New Providence into darkness. With outages becoming an all too familiar experience, many are now asking why their bills continue to climb while the power supply remains so unreliable.
We understand what's happening in the Middle East and so on, and fuel cost is going up, but we were also promised that we would have some relief. There has to be some kind of plan.
So I don't really understand the whole skyrocket thing of the power bills, but for people to pay their bills yesterday and have the current cut off at 12 a.m., 1 a.m. this morning and don't cut on until 8 a.m. the next morning, crazy.
Beyond the blackout itself, residents say their biggest frustration is the lack of timely information from BPL, saying they are too often left in the dark about when service will return or what caused the failure.
How would you feel as a BPL worker or, someone who work in that field? How would you feel if your family member, was elderly or pregnant or had a child and they had to survive in the heat?
For one resident, the outage turned into an expensive morning. With no generator to rely on, he sat in his car to escape the heat, burning fuel to stay cool, then bought breakfast because his stove was useless without electricity. He says a generator is a luxury many Bahamians simply cannot afford.
Most of us can't afford a generator. I can't afford a generator. You have school fees you have to pay, mortgages and all those other stuff. You can't afford a generator. Some of us are just strapped for cash as is.
Even for those who do have backup power, the costs don't stop. This resident says every prolonged outage means more money spent on diesel, while power surges have already damaged appliances inside her home. She says consumers are paying twice, once through their electricity bills and again to cope when the system fails.
Surveillance system, we've lost washer, dryers, those kinds of things because of the surges that occur. And because sometimes it pops in, it pops out. Losing those kinds of things, there has to be some compensation for it.
As BPL works to stabilize the grid, many residents say they want more than apologies. They're calling for a new power system they can depend on. Rebecca Bain, Eyewitness News.
Tonight, politicians react to last night's outage. Daniel Dean has that angle.
With public frustration over recurring power failures continuing to grow, political leaders are now renewing their debate over who is responsible for the country's troubled electricity grid. Free National Movement Shadow Energy Minister Dr. Andre Rollins says Bahamians should no longer accept what he described as substandard service, particularly as many households report sharply higher electricity bills.
We should, at minimum, have complete transparency in how the government is conducting the affairs of the state, whereby when you sell something as lucrative as the electrical grid of BPL, the Bahamian people ought to know who you sold it to and how much they are benefiting on the backs of the Bahamian people. Because we're paying an inordinate amount of money, an exorbitant amount of money to this new entity, and we're getting absolutely no value for the monies that we're spending.
Meanwhile, Coalition of Independents leader Lincoln Bain rejected recent criticism from PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell that the F&M failed to modernize the power grid while in office. Bain argued the Davis administration has now had its own opportunity to implement solutions, saying the country is still experiencing the same problems.
It doesn't take 5 years to build a proper grid. I think we need a full paradigm shift, move to solar and hydro, and let's fix our country. But I don't see any relief coming anytime soon. And if it does, that will be great. But based on the track record, why would they if we keep voting for things the way it is?
Bain also questioned the government's decision to pursue a $500 million liquefied natural gas terminal, arguing greater investment in solar energy would provide lower costs, reduce dependence on imported fuel, and help create a more resilient power system.
We could have reliable electricity. We're tired and we're fed up, and we don't want any more excuses. We want results.
The latest outage also comes months after Energy Minister JoBeth Colby Davis said BPL was prepared to meet summer demand. Despite the latest setback, PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell maintains the government is actively working to modernize the country's electricity system, urging the public to remain patient as those improvements take shape.
We're all concerned about the discomfort, and believe me, our best brains and muscle are working to resolve this problem sooner rather than later.
While they disagree on the path forward, both the opposition and the government agree on one point. Bahamians expect a more reliable power supply, and they expect it soon. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
Well, what started as a power failure quickly became a major disruption as the island-wide blackout spilled into air travel, water distribution, and telecommunications, leaving thousands of residents and visitors dealing with far more than just a power outage. Devontae Hanna is on the story.
The early morning blackout didn't just shut off the lights, it disrupted flights, interrupted water service, and knocked out communications for customers across parts of New Providence. At Lyndon Pindling International Airport, the loss of commercial power disrupted early morning operations. Nassau Airport Development Company Vice President of Marketing and Commercial Development Jan Knoll says backup systems help keep the airport operational, with commercial power restored shortly after 8 a.m.
While the majority of our airline carriers were able to check in passengers, some airlines experienced delays. These delays resulted in longer than usual lines in the check-in areas in the U.S. departures and international and domestic terminals.
But the impact didn't end there. Bahamas Air says internet disruption slowed its check-in process, leading to longer lines for passengers traveling to Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Orlando.
Passengers are encouraged to contact their airlines directly for the latest flight information, as some airlines may still be experiencing delays due to the disruption.
Meanwhile, as thousands waited for electricity to return, some residents in western New Providence also found themselves without water. Communities across Gladstone Road to Adelaide lost service after what the Water and Sewage Corporation says was likely a generator failure at its Windsor pumping station. Water has since been restored. In the same general area, BTC customers also experienced interruptions to mobile, home internet, landline, and television services. The company says the outage affected customers across western New Providence as well. All three agencies say their teams moved quickly to restore services while apologizing to customers for the disruptions. But for many Bahamians, today's event served as another reminder of how a single failure in the power grid can quickly cascade through multiple essential services, affecting nearly every part of daily life. Devontae Hanna, Eyewitness News.
Meanwhile, Central Bank's Governor John Roll was questioned about the impact of recent rolling blackouts on the country's first quarter economic outlook. The question came during the bank's first quarter briefing on Thursday, following an island-wide power outage that left thousands of homes without electricity. Roll asserts, though, that there are a number of initiatives in the pipeline to address shortcomings in the country's energy sector.
I've not done any quantitative work, but you want to be very careful in trying to connect any dots from a few power supply disruption to the economic performance. I think it's better to say that if you look at the overall cost structure in the Bahamas, the cost of energy is a factor in terms of those tie-break decisions that are being made around investments, and that is not a 2026 issue. That is an historical issue, which the investments in the sector will potentially address by reducing some of the baseline costs for electricity generation. So that's what's positive. And what's also positive about it is that a lot of the investments that have been formulated over the last year plus are investments that are making use of liquidity.
Well, in our daily poll, we put the question to you. What is most important to you during a major power outage? 27% of participants voted restoring electricity as quickly as possible. 4% voted regular updates from BPL on restoration efforts. 62% voted preventing future outages through infrastructure upgrades. 7% voted better emergency preparedness for critical services. Meanwhile, allegations of mistreatment and physical abuse at the hands of immigration officers are growing louder as some of the Haitian nationals recently deported from the Bahamas are now publicly describing what they claim they endured while in custody.
When they came at my residence and arrested me, they didn't even allow me to get dressed. Even the other immigration officers were shocked at me wearing briefs only.
Speaking to Haitian media after returning home, several repatriates alleged they were beaten, humiliated, and denied basic dignity by immigration officers, claims the government has not publicly responded to. One man, who was among the 62 migrants repatriated this week on a Bahamas Air flight to Haiti, said he was given no meaningful opportunity to put his affairs in order before being deported. He admitted to overstaying his visa after living in Nassau for more than a year and said he paid a $1,000 fine that allowed him to avoid prison. But he claims his hardest experience came after his arrest, alleging he was physically assaulted by officers at the detention center during an incident he did not date.
They took the 6 of us and physically assaulted us, yet we didn't do anything for that to happen. Immigration officers severely mishandled us.
He further alleged the encounter left him with injuries he continues to suffer from.
Long after they took us to hospital, they haven't given me any results to know what may or may not have happened after the incident. Now I'm here in Haiti with a headache and with shoulder pains.
Another repatriate who was not identified during the interview also claimed he was assaulted by immigration officers, alleging the incident followed disorderly behavior among some detainees.
The Haitian men were trash-talking among themselves, and immigration officers grabbed us and mistreated us, attacked us, humiliated us.
He too said he paid a fine to avoid a prison sentence, but claimed many others remained detained for months under what he described as harsh conditions at the Fox Hill prison while waiting to be deported.
A prison for the worst of the worst, where the detainees are staying for 5 to 6 months, sleeping on the ground.
The repatriates also expressed frustration with what they described as a lack of support from Haitian officials, saying they felt abandoned during their detention and deportation process.
We don't have a true representative, someone who can truly speak on our behalf. They're more concerned about themselves, and they're never available to help us when we need them.
Now, the allegations come as the Davis administration continues to intensify its immigration enforcement campaign, which has resulted in hundreds of arrests and a series of repatriation flights in recent months. The Department of Immigration has repeatedly maintained that its operations are carried out in accordance with the law. Now, Eyewitness News spoke with immigration officials who say they are looking into the allegations made by the repatriates. Well, we've added another access point to make sure that you're up to date with news. Follow the Eyewitness News WhatsApp channel by scanning the QR code on your screen or visiting our social media pages for a direct link. And while you're there, don't forget to follow Eyewitness News on Instagram and Facebook. If you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the Eye on News hotline at 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms at eyewitnessnewsbahamas@gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube pages, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comments section below. We want to hear from you. And still to come tonight, when we come back, a chilling testimony heard in Supreme Court case of a man accused of nearly killing his grandmother. We've got more on that, and later, a local nurse claims she has become a target since leading a recent protest. We've got more on those stories right after this break.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
This summer, paradise is calling, and it's closer than you think. Gather your crew and escape to Royal Beach Club Paradise Island. Come relax on Chill Beach, dive into Paradise Pool, or dance all day at Party Cove with unlimited food and drink. Whether it's a family day of friends getaway or the perfect staycation, your best summer memories start right here. So book your summertime in paradise at Royal Beach Club at paradiseisland.com.
Captain Cash & Co. viral videos have shown you using what is said to be super speed to deliver cash to citizens around the world. Can you explain this?
Those people are simply taking advantage of Cash & Go's Cash Now money lending service, our easy-to-use money lending portal.
How does it work?
Well, you simply enter your information along with a recent payslip, a picture of your ID, and then select your loan amount and the repayment term. We review it as soon as possible. And then once approved, we could have your cash delivered to your mobile wallet, or we could send it directly to a bank of your choosing. Any more questions?
No. Thanks, Cash & Go, man.
It's Captain Cash & Go.
Long summer, hot sun, people coming over, and nobody feeling like cooking. This summer, wait for the sign. Presenting KFC Summer Bucket, the official meal of the summer.
KFC, it's finger licking good. At BOB, we take pride in our business banking.
I've been banking with Bank of the Bahamas for about 10 years and recently have applied for a commercial loan with Bank of the Bahamas. We like the fact that it's a Bahamian company. They give you personalized service, they return your phone calls. It's just a pleasure to do business with them. They helped our company facilitate the loans we needed to grow our business. I can recommend Bank of the Bahamas to other businesses simply because the service is outstanding.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. Esso stands at $6.60, Rubis $6.87, Shell $6.75. A police officer recently testified in the Supreme Court that a 74-year-old woman identified her grandson as the man who allegedly dosed her and another relative with gasoline before setting them on fire during a 2023 incident. Detective Constable Freddie Moultrie testified in Ricardo Richardson's attempted murder trial, telling the court he interviewed Richardson's grandmother, Mangola Moxie, at Princess Margaret Hospital, where she allegedly identified him as the person responsible for setting her and his uncle, Emil Humes, on fire after an argument on November 27. The trial was later adjourned after an unresolved legal issue arose during the officer's testimony. Proceedings were expected to resume today, with Detective Moultrie scheduled to continue giving evidence. This is a story we will continue to follow. National Security Minister Miles LaRota breaking his silence on a man missing 81 court-ordered bail check-ins before allegedly killing a key witness in an armed robbery case. LaRota claims Police Commissioner Shanton Knowles pledges the force's commitment to increase security and to see that similar incidents do not occur in the future. 39-year-old Adnan Oliver allegedly killed businessman James McPhee in a hit-and-run on July 12th.
I have spoken to Commissioner of Police about that particular matter that made its way into the public domain. She is very concerned. She has given her assurances that the force, led by her, will do all she can to make sure things like this don't happen again. But it is a concern, and it just raises the awareness that we have to be ever more vigilant with regards to the monitoring of every individual that are on bail. The last consequences, what could happen if any of these individuals slip through the cracks.
While the matter is under active investigation, Lorota says the officers responsible for the major oversight will be held accountable. The incident, however, is not isolated. Just earlier this month, 28-year-old Donovan Higgins, accused of attempted murder and illegal firearm possession, allegedly breached bail 66 times before July 18. This raises concerns on what consequences await enablers and what preventative efforts will be made moving forward.
It's under active investigation, and I don't want to preface that, and we'll just see where it goes. But I could tell you that the commissioner is transparent, and her words to me is that an investigation will be done, and wherever it leads, if there's anybody to be held accountable, the individual or individuals would be.
While the government says the long-running dispute over nurses' appointment letters is nearly resolved, but one registered nurse says that resolution has come at her expense, and she's urging fairness. Arlington Ritchie Jr. is on the story.
Just weeks after leading fellow nurses in a public protest outside the Ministry of Health, registered nurse Procina Delavo Miller says she's the only person left without an appointment letter. While she says many of the nurses who stood beside her have now received their letters, she claims she's been excluded.
As the lady who was in charge of human resources that she was leaving out, I asked her, I said, ma'am, I saw my name on the list. I was given the all clear. And now today they're saying that there's no letter here for me. She smiled and she walked out of the door. Another lady leaned over and said to me, I told you it was because of your mouth.
The July protest shone a spotlight on a number of nurses who have been waiting years for appointment and reclassification letters, leaving some working on half pay since as far back as 2022. Just last week, many nurses reported receiving their appointment letters, a move Health Minister Michael Darville said put the matter about 95% toward resolution. But union officials say those letters address appointments only, not reclassifications. For Delavo Miller, the issue is now personal. She says while she celebrates her colleagues' progress, she believes she's been singled out for speaking up.
I simply wanted fairness. I was simply asking for what was owed to me. And at the end of the day, I was victimized.
She also rejects suggestions that the protest was politically motivated, insisting the demonstration was about fair treatment for nurses, not politics.
If the FNM or the COI was the governing party, we still would have protested. So I really don't want anyone to change the narrative. Not everybody is going to understand this protest or this move, but this is for the persons in this country who are willing to stand against this type of treatment.
And to other public officers who may feel pressured to remain silent, Delavo Miller offered a message of encouragement, urging them not to let fear prevent them from standing up for what they believe is right.
You stand up for your rights and you stand up for the rights of others. You serve a living God. Every day he provides your daily bread. There's no need for you to fear.
Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
In other news, the Bahamas' economic outlook remains steady, with tourism continuing to drive growth despite rising cost pressures. Central Bank Governor John Roll is weighing in on the latest economic trends. Alarentia Smith has more.
The Bahamian economy maintains a steady growth through the first half of 2026, keeping pace with last year's performance.
26 forecasted growth is on pace to come in just moderately below the estimated 3.8% recorded in 2025.
But the central bank governor pointed to global uncertainty driven in part by persistent tariff tensions. Wars in Eastern Europe and the Middle East continues to pose headwinds for the Bahamian economy.
Given external geopolitical pressures, average consumer price inflation increased in the most recent estimate, driven by escalated fuel costs and rising prices for other imported goods and services.
Roll says inflation edging higher, powered by rising fuel costs and more expensive import goods.
Important to note, however, that some adjustments in the fuel hedge are expected to occur before oil prices fall back to their pre-war levels, and this could pass higher costs through to electricity generation after 2026.
As for the country's bread and butter industry, tourism, He says the sector continues to expand compared to last year, with stronger demands for vacation rentals helping offset limited resort accommodations.
Rebounded against 2025 comparatively. The monthly seasonal volumes for air arrivals have not shifted significantly since recovering to the peak baseline head count recorded just before the COVID-19 pandemic.
The bank's governor says central bank will maintain a balanced policy approach focused on strengthening the credit environment while supporting economic growth. Now, while central bank maintains that the country has seen a healthy growth during the first half of this year, we'll have to wait to see if that's the same status once the second half of the year rolls in. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Central Bank Governor John Roll also warning against sensationalizing reports on public finances. This as he responded to questions on the disparity between the government's projected surplus and deficit projections.
Any report is produced showing public finances. Any one of us can go through those reports and look at the itemization of what's being forecasted, and we can vary those assumptions and draw different conclusions. And so you need to take those analyses in the same light. The headline analysis and conclusion from all of these reports, which is important, not the point estimates, is that public finances are consolidating. And we need to take from it that public finances consolidating means that over the near to medium term, the net amount that the government needs to borrow will be reducing. And at some point, the government will get to a point where on a net basis, it's going to be repaying liabilities. I think that's the big picture that needs to be kept in view.
With human trafficking cases allegedly on the rise, National Security Minister Miles Lorota is warning the Bahamian public to be vigilant. Back in 2024, then Minister of National Security Wayne Monroe reported an uptick in persons from various countries being trafficked in the country and young Bahamian girls being sex trafficked by family members, further identifying the catalysts in both cases as poverty, lack of education, and conflict. While the Ministry of National Security acknowledged World Day Against Trafficking in Persons today amid renewed sex and labor trafficking concerns.
A lot of the trafficking involves young kids, and so sensitizing our young children to be suspicious, but not only to be suspicious, but to report their activities to a trusted adult. The question have been posed on whether the sentences or that is meted out to individuals who have been convicted. I don't think the sentences is the issue. We all know that human trafficking is a complex matter, and so first we need to have the victim come and speak out, speak to somebody who is trusted, have faith in the system of the police, and to bring these individuals before the courts to be held accountable for their actions.
Now, a competition facilitated by Atos Holdings, the Bahamas Crisis Center, and the ministry allowed youth the opportunity to produce art that captured their understanding of the serious issue. This as children have been identified as the most vulnerable demographic outside of adult women, according to global statistics.
Let not our comfort blind our sight to those still chained beneath the night. Each child deserves a world to grow, to learn, to laugh, to love, to know. Tear down the markets built on cries, lift truth to where the darkness lies. For every child the world has lost, we'll pay our silence's cruelest cost.
Listen to me now. Let my words ring strong and clear. Every child is precious and deserves love, hope, and cheer. I stand for the silent, the frightened, the small. I am not for sale, and neither is any child at all.
Even though it's a simple drawing, I think that it could make a big change to this problem.
Still to come on Eyewitness News, the Ministry of Social Services hosts Family Week. That's coming up, but first, here's a check on tonight's weather forecast.
are celebrating the International Day for the Conservation of Mangrove Ecosystems.
The mangroves found at Bonefish Pond National Park protect the coastline from hurricanes and winter swells. So generally you find anything that's behind the mangrove forest tends to be safe from wind damage.
When we tamper with or destroy these vital ecosystems for short-term gain, we end up permanently weakening our island's resilience against storm surges and hurricanes.
Healthy mangroves mean healthy water.
Mangroves improve water quality, they protect our ecosystems and sustain our communities.
Mangroves play an absolutely critical role in the life cycle of bonefish. We have planted over 150,000 mangroves directly into the communities of East Grand Bahama and Abaco.
About 80% of our coral reef fish start out their life in the mangroves.
The Forestry Unit in the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources is entrusted to protect the mangrove ecosystems that are essential for safeguarding our coastlines.
We're working to protect and conserve the mangroves. You should too. Oh, this is a big sandwich.
I really like the honey mustard sauce. And then like the crispy bacon on it as well.
Oh, it's pepper jack cheese.
I love the spice. I love the crunch.
I love the original sandwich, but just that simple addition of bacon was like over the top.
The chicken is really good.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I rate this a 10 out of 10. I'd eat this again.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
This hurricane season, don't wait until a storm is on the way. The time to protect your most valuable assets is today.
Talk to us before it's too late. Don't wait till devastation is at your door. We can help you protect your home from all kinds of perils, including hurricanes.
In the event a storm is traveling, new policies cannot be issued until after the storm has passed. We're here to help you weather the storm with peace of mind.
Think you know a lot about money? Then prove it. What if one sound could win you big cash? Listen carefully. Then tell us exactly how much money went through the machine. One guess, one sound, one chance to win. Listen, guess, win. It's the sound of money. Brought to you by 103.5 The Beat. Powered by Island Lux Quick 5.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
The Ministry of Social Services is hosting its annual Family Week. Today, special emphasis is being placed on strengthening the family after divorce, a topic officials believe could be considered taboo. Dozens came to the Social Services building on JFK to hear about the topic.
So what we do, we promote initiatives that highlight certain concerns or issues that families may be dealing with. And so we began from the 26th and we'll be ending on August 1st. Today, we are focusing on those persons single and divorced, understanding that they also have an important role to play and we don't want them to feel that they're being overlooked or stigmatized. So what we have done, we've invited counselors here today to talk to those persons who are divorced and single and to especially deal with loss. How do you manage grief loss? What are the mental aspects of divorce? And so we'll have counselors, Dr. Vane Thompson, of course, who will be here sharing with participants how do they deal with life after divorce? How do they manage in a single parent household? And also we will have persons here talking about how do you co-parent when there is divorce and there's separation. How do the mother or father cope as a single individual?
The goal, according to facilitators, is to resurrect the family.
Sometimes we think of single parents, but not often do we consider members of our population that would have suffered significant losses through grief or for divorce. And if we can be really, really honest, they're not even always considered a part of the family anymore. Because there's a lot of shame associated with divorce. There's a level of shame also associated with grief. And so our objective today is to sort of mitigate against some of that shame and encourage people to come out, share with you that there is hope after relationship loss. We have all at one point in our life suffered some form of significant loss that would have triggered a grief response, but it's only a moment, it's not a lifetime.
Still to come in Eyewitness News, the latest sports updates are next. Good evening, Laurencia.
Good evening, Jose. Wow, I have the latest highlights coming in from the Commonwealth Games as Team Bahamas continue to deliver a strong performance. I'll tell you more about it straight ahead in sports.
Enter any Super Value or Quality Supermarkets location and you enter a world of savings with specials like Rainbow Corned Beef, 12 ounces, $2.39. Par Excellence Long Grain Rice, 5 pounds, $3.99. Whole chicken wings, $1.79 per pound. Fresh tomatoes, $1.99 per pound. Iceberg lettuce, $2.49 each. Forget the GPS, drop the compass, and turn off the maps. If you're looking to shop and save, you're looking for Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Welcome back to another episode of The Movement, your energy and transport briefing. Today, I'm stepping into the shoes of a crossing guard. Let's see how it goes.
Hey, stop the car. Put the window down. Listen, there's 2 stop signs through this corner. One at the end of the corner and this. You gotta respect both. You hear me, sir? Let's go. Keep rolling. Don't let it happen again. Every day, crossing guards are up and on duty way before you even get up to start your day. And today, I'm going to spend the day with them, rested and double vested, to see what it takes to keep our kids and our streets safe. Let him go.
I've been doing this now for about 6 months now, and what made me want to become a crossing patrol officer is the love for the children, to protect the children, the safety of the children. I've noticed that everybody is always in the heat and rush, and they don't have the full understanding of what is the importance of us doing this job. The importance of us doing this job is for the safety of our children. Good.
That's your $5. You need that?
I have kids of my own, and they're very grown, so to come back out here and help these children along the way and be a mentor, to be somebody that inspires the children is very, very rewarding for me.
As a crossing patrol officer, one of the most important things that you need to know, and that is paramount, is that our kids come first. And the ultimate goal, once again, is the safety of our kids in crossing our streets. Early in the morning, you have high traffic.
We gotta go. Let's go. We gotta go.
The most difficult part is being able to create a gap within the traffic so that we can safely navigate our kids across the streets.
Driver, please stop your car. You're trying to see the kids cross from there and far. Driver, when you see this, then stop. Because if you don't stop, then your car could drop in a pothole. And like you say, see, I tell you slow down because the children got to get in the schoolyard.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Welcome to another edition of Eyewitness Sports. I'm Laurencia Smith. Thanks for joining us. Kicking things off in our sports roundup tonight, we are in Glasgow with Team Bahamas at the 2026 Commonwealth Games. Devin Charlton once again showing why she's among the world's best hurdlers, capturing gold in the women's 100 meters at the Commonwealth Games. Charlton stormed her way to a victory in a time of 12.33 seconds, adding another major title to her growing collection and further cement her status as one of the sport's elite hurdlers. On the track as well, Anthony Strawn finished 5th in the women's 200-meter semifinal heats, clocking a time of 23.66 seconds from lane 2. In the field events, Keyshawn Strawn delivered when it mattered most, launching a 78.60-meter throw on his third attempt to secure his place in the men's javelin final. Meanwhile, Bahamian swimmers also producing strong performance over in Glasgow. Elsa Woods placed 7th in her event with a time of 26.06 seconds, while Zelia Elizabeth Thompson setting new personal best, clocking a time of 26.95 seconds. Emmanuel Gutson finished 10th in the men's 200-meter breaststroke, touching the wall in a time of 2 minutes 20.56 seconds. In the men's 50-meter butterfly, Marvin Johnson finished 8th in his heat with a time of 25.44 seconds. With the competition continued, Team Bahamas remain fighting for more than strong finishes, podium success on the world stage. Congratulations to Devin and all of our athletes. We'll definitely stay tuned to Eyewitness Sports for all of the latest highlights coming in from the games. Now let's head on over to the WNBA with our very own Jonquel Jones. After delivering a strong all-star performance, The New York Liberty is back in action as they're in the hunt to make the playoffs. Jonquel Jones and the New York Liberty delivered an offense masterclass, powering past the Los Angeles Sparks 113-109 on the road. The Liberty set a new season high in points, field goals made, and three-pointers while shooting a season best of 58.6% from the floor and 53.1% from beyond the arc. Jones finished with 9 points, 5 boards, and 5 assists, 4 from 6 shooting, matching her season high in assists. The Bahamian center also extended her streak to 12 consecutive games with at least one made three-pointers. Brianna Stewart led the New York Liberty with 29 points, while Sabrina Ionesco added 27 as the Liberty produced one of the most impressive offensive showing in franchise history. The Libs knocked down 17 three-pointers and scored 113 points, the team's highest total since 2002, the second highest score performance in franchise history. The Liberty also controlled the inside game, outscoring Los Angeles 48-46 in the paint and 18-5 in the second chance points, while holding the Sparks to just 21 boards. The win moved the Liberty to 16-12 on the season. Well, that's a quick look at sports at this hour. I'm Laurencia Smith. Stay tuned for more news on the other side of the break.
Think you know a lot about money? Then prove it. What if one sound could win you big cash? Listen carefully. Then tell us exactly how much money went through the machine. One guess, one sound, one chance to win. Listen, guess, win. It's the sound of money. Brought to you by 103.5 The Beat. Powered by Island Lux Quick 5.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Well, that wraps up news this Thursday. Coming up and beyond the headlines with Shanique Miller, a closer look at today's stories. That starts right after this. And so that does it for us in Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Jose Etienne saying good night.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. hands for hunger.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Everybody get up.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, callers, and advisors on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2026. All rights reserved.
The latest widespread BPL outage has intensified public frustration because it comes against the backdrop of recurring blackouts, unbelievable electricity costs, and years of promises about a more reliable electricity grid. Earlier this month, BPL also responded to regulatory findings on its outage reporting and has continued to address reliability concerns following previous major outages. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. Members of my panel, Ellington Ferguson and Howard Johnson, join me this evening. Gentlemen, good evening to both of you. It's been a tough several hours since around 1 or so this morning until, throughout the day. Really vexing, frustrating, and hot. But people very angry with a lot of questions. What has been the experience in your neck of the woods in terms of what people are saying to you about the outage, about how angry they are, about the answers they now seek?
Good evening, Shanique, and good evening, Bahamas. Certainly, thank you for having me once again. It is, as using those words that you use, extremely frustrating. I think Bahamians have given this administration and BPL a lot of leeway to kind of figure things out, as they've said that we're having this major energy transformation. And so Bahamians have been waiting and hoping that things would get better sooner than later. We're now seeing a coupling of things as the energy seems to be getting worse as it relates to as we come into the summer months, and then all of a sudden the bills are increasing. I mean, what is happening here? Somebody needs to come, somebody needs to speak to the Bahamian people. No, I'm tired of the people who is responsible at BPL hiding behind the politicians. Come from behind, hiding behind the politicians' coattail. The Bahamian people need to hear from you. We need an understanding as to what exactly is going on. We know what the government is trying to do about energy transformation, but what is happening now does not line up with what we have been expecting, with what the Bahamian people have been told. And so it's time that somebody come from behind the curtains and speak to the Bahamian people. Update us, let us know, why is this happening? What is with this frequency of these outages and not only in secluded areas, but massive outages? It's unbearable. It's not good. It's not conducive to businesses. It's not conducive to our Bahamian people. We got people that are sick in homes. I just heard somebody talk about their family having a heat stroke just yesterday.
What?
We have got to get our hands on, those of you that are responsible out here at BPL, whatever sector it is. We don't want no blame passing from one sector to the next. We need all of you to come together, come in a press conference, face the Bahamian people, speak to us, let us know what's happening.
Yes, good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Ellington. Good evening, Bahamas. So when I woke up this morning, I was inundated my phone, right? There was lots of WhatsApp messages and text messages, articles about what happened overnight, sent to my phone by relatives, friends, college classmates, high school classmates, and everyone is pretty upset. They're hot, they are livid and frustrated with exactly what is going on. And Shanique, the bills continue to be high. The misery and sufferation index of Bahamians continue to be high. The pain points continue to be high, but the service delivery continues to be low. That is a problem. So to our government leaders, right? See, what's happening here is, in light of everything that I just said, what's happening here is, what's progressing is our misery index is progressing, our quality of life is regressing, and our misery index and our cost of living is progressing. That's the only thing that's positive. What's positive is the cost of living. What's impacting us and making us pay more money, that's progressing. The quality of life, though, our standard of living, it is regressing. And that is a problem. All of these people getting paid, all this big money, everybody want to be the boss and have big titles, but our service delivery, what is being delivered to the Bahamian people, continues to be less than stellar and poor. And people not only need to take responsibility, but they need to fix this. You see, we need the fix. What is happening? I mean, why are we regressing? We're 6 years in, 2 years into an administration that has been re-elected by the Bahamian people. The Bahamian people were asked to re-elect this government so that they can continue their work. This is our government. This is my government. I want them to succeed with energy policy,
elected so that issues like this and the progress that was campaigned upon, that it can continue. There's no getting around that. Many people have a lot of issues. I mean, I'll tell you the amount of messages I got this morning. People are very upset. They have multiple questions. They have their bills and electricity bills. You see this right here? You see that right there? Electricity. You all know how it looks. Electricity bill. This lady says, how was her bill? $1,108.70. How? She says, when she was at home in the month of June for half the month, and then the other half, the light was out. There's the bill right there. There's the bill. People are asking and saying, listen, who is in charge? Who's talking? Who's not talking? What is happening? Come and explain to the Bahamian people. Let the Bahamian people, and then further, others are tired of the explanations.
Yes.
Well, here's what we know so far. A massive fire at the Bahamas Power and Light substation sent New Providence into darkness from early this morning, and it continued throughout this afternoon, leaving thousands without electricity for hours. Linton Ritchie Jr. just wrapped up a walkabout with Prime Minister Davis at the Blue Hills plant. Here's his story.
Sparks and flames erupting from Bahamas Power and Light's Blue Hill primary substation, plunging New Providence into hours of darkness overnight as thick black smoke billowed into the sky. For thousands of residents, the first signs of electricity did not return until nearly 7 a.m. Director of Planning, Engineering and Facilities at BPL, Kevin Gilbert, says officials acted as soon as the fire was extinguished.
As a result of the fault on the 15 MVA transformer, the breaker did not close, so that fault went back to our generating stations, which caused the blackout here in New Providence. That area had to be properly isolated from the system. We had to make sure that our personnel who went out there to inspect the scene was safe.
Initial investigations indicated that an underground cable fault resulted in the explosion of a 15 MVA transformer, leading to the blackout. In a statement, Minister of Energy Jobeth Colby Davis revealed that due to the failure, technicians saw it as a must to, quote, immediately isolate critical equipment to protect personnel and the wider electricity system. That decision sending the nation's capital to darkness. Describing power restoration following the island-wide blackout as the most technically demanding operations, officials say units had to be brought on in a controlled sequence. Why? To manage electrical loads to prevent further failures.
The system has to come on incrementally. So once we do that, we start to look at various parts of the system that we can bring on from a safety aspect.
Hoping to ease the sweat off of Bahamians and bring electricity back into their homes, BPL staffers reportedly worked through the night, and while operations are continuing, officials are asking for grace.
We apologize for any inconvenience caused, but at this point in time, like I said, we've been working from about 2 o'clock this morning trying to get the system up and running, and our aim is to make sure we please you, our customers. So bear with us as we continue to do what we need to do.
Of course, like I said, we saw the story there. Prime Minister Davis around 5 this afternoon went to the Blue Hills plant wanting to see for himself the damage, you all. We heard the engineer in that story with Linton talk about what happened. We heard the minister. It is so much, and it's good that the Prime Minister himself is so interested as to show the Bahamian people, listen, he too cares about this. But we want to hear from many of the technocrats, don't we? We want to hear, because they're the people who's doing the work. Yes, we can hear from the Prime Minister of what's going on, but we need real answers and real solutions to support exactly what it is we have been seeing play out this entire summer. And it didn't just start Ellington and Howard. This is decades old. That's why the Bahamian people are so fatigued, because it's been too long, too many times, too many years.
Absolutely, and we have got to get a clear understanding as to what's up with all of these fires, all of these failures, all of these line faults and all of these. We've got to understand with all that has gone into what the government is purporting to do as it relates to energy reform. These people have been on the ground now more than 2 years trying to get this together. What is happening? Has anything progressed? What is going on with these engines? What kind of safety measures are in place as it relates to all of these fires, all of these
You're right, because the first thing I said this morning when I heard about the fire, I'm like, hold on, why is BPL burning?
Yeah.
Again.
It's just a little too much of it. And I think the Chamber of Commerce spoke to it. You're going to have a double fallout from this. It's affecting existing business where people cannot operate. And what it's also going to do is going to affect business in the future, because especially foreign investment that's coming here, they want to know that you have reliable energy. That's a big drawback to investors investing in your country, reliable energy. And so, yes, we want the technocrats. We hear from the Prime Minister and the Minister and everybody. Kudos to them. But they are not the persons that are actually in the field who know this thing. They put the policies and all of that in place, whatever they're doing. But we need to understand from these people, why are we having all of these repeated issues? Why? I mean, all summer long, there's been no break for the Bahamian people, none whatsoever. Also, I'm hoping that IRCA is taking note and dealing with this. I'm sure IRCA is going to deal with them, but they cannot go unscathed. It's unacceptable what the Bahamian people have been receiving from BPL. No question about it.
Yeah, Shanique, I'm happy that the Prime Minister understands his political role and all of the optics that go with that. But I would recommend to him and any of the other high-ranking political leaders, when we're in an apocalyptic situation like this, and it's impacting the Bahamian people in such a negative way, and it's island-wide, it's countrywide, limit those political optic movements to a minimum. And here's why. Because whenever the Prime Minister and the Governor General go somewhere, there's a lot of logistical implications to take into consideration. So now the focus becomes the Prime Minister is coming, and so you're preparing for the Prime Minister to be received. And now the focus gets off the problem to be solved. So there has to be a balance between the Prime Minister of the country, who is our leader, yes, wanting to go and visit and see what's going on. And then, that can also get people up and moving, because the head of government in our country is showing concern.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
I think it'll achieve that, Howard. And I understand what you're saying. The optics is good, and also it can be a little vexing if nothing follows the optics. So it's good to see him out there this afternoon when he went and saying, you know what, well, it's good, Prime Minister, you get the answers for us and tell us then. You do that, because you will get the answers. They won't give it to us, but you will get it. Now tell us, and then tell us about the way forward. So therefore, that's the good of it all. So let's just hope that that is what follows in the days to come as it relates to BPL. We know it's a heavy lift. We know electricity and generation and have been an issue for any number of countries, really. But the Bahamas has been limping along with this issue for too long, that we are all just fatigued, tired of it.
Maybe it's time that some heads roll as it relates to the leadership at BPL, because if you can't explain what's going on, if you cannot correct what's going on, maybe it's time for some heads to roll.
Now, many of you reached out to Beyond the Headlines to vent your frustrations, and of course, we listened, we shared some of it, we shared the light bill, and we'll talk about this as well on Week in Review Fridays on tomorrow evening show. But Rebecca Bain went to you on the streets and spoke with many of you. Here's some of what you shared with her.
It's inconvenient and it's uncomfortable.
It just seems to be going on and on and on. Every day is something new. How do you expect us to manage?
Light off, the fan off, everything just off.
Just hours after many residents expressed frustration over higher electricity bills, an island-wide power outage plunged New Providence into darkness. With outages becoming an all too familiar experience, many are now asking why their bills continue to climb while the power supply remains so unreliable.
We understand what's happening in the Middle East and so on, and fuel cost is going up, but we were also promised that we would have some relief. There has to be some kind of plan.
So I don't really understand the whole skyrocket thing of the power bills. But for people to pay their bills yesterday and have the current cut off at 12 a.m., 1 a.m. this morning and don't cut on until 8 a.m. the next morning, crazy.
Beyond the blackout itself, residents say their biggest frustration is the lack of timely information from BPL, saying they are too often left in the dark about when service will return or what caused the failure.
How would you feel as a BPL worker, or someone who work in that field? How would you feel if your family member was elderly or pregnant or had a child and they had to survive in the heat?
For one resident, the outage turned into an expensive morning. With no generator to rely on, he sat in his car to escape the heat, burning fuel to stay cool, then bought breakfast because his stove was useless without electricity. He says a generator is a luxury many Bahamians simply cannot afford.
Most of us can't afford a generator. I can't afford a generator. You have school fees you have to pay, mortgages and all those other stuff. You can't afford a generator. Some of us are just strapped for cash as is.
Even for those who do have backup power, the costs don't stop. This resident says every prolonged outage means more money spent on diesel, while power surges have already damaged appliances inside her home. She says consumers are paying twice, once through their electricity bills and again to cope when the system fails.
Surveillance system, we've lost washer, dryers, those kinds of things because of the surges that occur. Because sometimes it pops in and pops out. Losing those kinds of things, there has to be some compensation for it.
As BPL works to stabilize the grid, many residents say they want more than apologies. They're calling for a new power system they can depend on. Rebecca Bain, Eyewitness News.
And Howard, you all heard the people. You all have been seeing this too. People have been speaking to you. They've reached out to me. Howard, people have been reaching out to you even. People are very angry. They have many questions. Among the questions, why the monopoly all these years, especially if the monopoly cannot deliver and meet meet now what's required. Just the bare minimum the monopoly cannot. So why the monopoly, and why not divest this? And I know some may say, well, this is what happened. Remember now, there are different groupings who have been tasked and given, I guess, contracts to go and provide power on different islands and here and there and whatnot. But we're not seeing or feeling that.
Absolutely, Shanique, and I really do understand and appreciate the frustration of the Bahamian people as it relates to this ongoing saga with BPL, and it appears that no one wants to step up to the plate and take responsibility. It's being passed down, the responsibility, this one and that one and the next one. The government have put in place all of these, like you mentioned, different groupings that are responsible for distribution and all these other things, and generation and all these other things. So we need to understand where the faults lie. The government have talked about their aged infrastructure. They've talked about all of these lines and cables and all this stuff. As far as the Bahamian people and myself are concerned, these things were being replaced, they were being upgraded, and by now we should not have been having these massive problems. And so we really need to know, and the people are justifiably so frustrated that it seems before things get better, they're getting worse. We're not hearing, and I think that is a key thing. You're not hearing from the persons that we should be hearing from. Everybody seems to take a back seat and let the politician go out there, let the politician say this. No, we want to hear from you. You in charge of management, you in charge of whatever area you're in charge of with this whole energy reform. We need to hear from you, and not only hear from you, we need results. We need this to be fixed. Bahamian people need to get some kind of relief from all of this. Our business are hurting. People that get grocery in their houses. I personally know my daughter's fridge get damaged twice this year. Twice this year she had to do repairs to a brand new fridge. And so, yeah, we've got to do better than this. Absolutely.
Yeah, Shanique, and when we look at it from a monopoly perspective, right? You see where the Bahamas only has about 500,000 people. And the case can be made that, well, if you have 3 and 4 players in the market that are competing, for the electricity customers, then you can really have a problem. So the problem isn't monopoly itself all the time, especially in small island states like the Bahamas. The problem happens to be other factors. People aren't professional. The culture impacts the work sometimes. The training is inadequate. There are so many different things that can come into play. But if you only have one player in the market, we can't say, always say, we need to break the monopoly and that's going to make things better. You're still going to have the same factors to confront. You just have more players now. So what do we do? What is the fix? I do know one thing. We have people sitting in BPL. We have people sitting in the Ministry of Energy. We have consultants. We have technocrats. We have workers. We have government officials, all being paid and all making a salary. And I'm just going to go with the last 6 years, because we've had our government, the same administration headed by Prime Minister Davis for the last 6 years. Although these are legacy issues, 40 and 50 years old. But we have to look at who is currently responsible for dealing with these things. We have a lot of people on payroll, on various payrolls that intersect to deal with this national crisis. This is an ongoing national crisis of apocalyptic proportions. And people are on several different payrolls being paid handsomely, and yet the pain points and the misery and sufferation index of Bahamians continues to be on the rise. Now, something is drastically wrong with that, because if we're inputting all this money to pay all these people and our outcome is garbage juice, then we have a serious problem. You ain't just got, see, You could fire some people, but everybody ain't gonna get fired. Everyone is not going to be able to be fired. So, with that being the case, what is the plan of this government, our government, to fix these problems? They can't go unabated like this. It cannot continue.
Gentlemen, you were both right. Absolutely. We will, of course, pick up this discussion tomorrow evening in tomorrow's show. But it's something that we will continue to, as we have been monitoring, we'll continue to follow this BPL energy reform. After all, that is really what it's all about. And it's a reform that is desperately needed. Desperately needed. Thank you very much this evening, Ellington Ferguson, Howard Johnson. Thank you so much. When we come back, we're going to shift gears a bit here on Beyond the Headlines, but you don't want to go anywhere because we are just getting started. Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash, Superwash's newest spokesmodel, and I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Luckily, it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. It's big enough now to handle your big loads, Yeah, like your comfort on your blanket. Well, just look at us. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Oh, stop! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes you, process you, and entertains you 24/7.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
Has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madeira Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay eatin' well.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Good to have you all tuned in this evening. But we're going to shift gears now and welcome back Bid Caribbean. Remember when they were here earlier this week on Tuesday? Well, Joshua Paul is back here. He's spending the entire week, he and his team here. They're no newcomers to the Bahamas. In fact, they assist Bahamians with importing vehicles and getting business started and so much more in that space. In fact, after that show, I was speaking with others who said No. Bid Caribbean is a mainstay here in the Bahamas, and they have used it, in fact, to import vehicles. And so we're going to continue that discussion. By the way, Joshua, good evening to you. Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Good to have you here.
Good evening, Shanique. Thank you for having me once again.
Yes, absolutely. How has the week been for you? How's it been going?
It has been great. Connected with a few colleagues of ours and key players. It's very good.
Let's look at innovation. I'll tell you, these are some buzzwords here locally as well, I imagine everywhere. So let's look at innovation, technology, and the future as it relates to how Bahamians are importing their vehicles, how they are purchasing, and also for business. Why do you believe the way the Caribbean residents buy vehicles is now changing, is looking different?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, now we have people that has more information, right? You have technology that embeds AI that a lot of people are using, and that is making people more informed into, the purchasing journey itself. And that's really rarely the case where people don't have information now. And for us now, it's more to amplify that for persons wanting to purchase vehicles.
Yeah, let's talk about that merging with AI and just about every industry right now, and that really is what exists and how it's going to look moving forward. Let's talk about that and how the Caribbean and the Bahamas is readying itself, preparing itself, and then can step into the Bid Caribbean space and master it.
Yeah, definitely. As of right now with AI, artificial intelligence, right now it's the best time to step into that phase, because I don't think a lot of people think technology is going to take a lot of jobs, but I think at this phase right now is to use the tool to amplify efficiency. So when it comes to AI itself, even from a standpoint of different industries, I see a lot of companies are using it in the realm of efficiency compared to saying, hey, people are going to be losing jobs. Because I know that's a big key point right now, right? And even in the automobile industry, you have it to where you could now send a picture for a particular vehicle, and it tells you exactly, is this a good vehicle, long term, short term. And this is a key problem when it comes to family members. They're looking for these efficiencies, and that can bring that as to where the market is currently going, if everybody keep up with it.
Yeah, they need those important answers, because after all, purchasing a vehicle can be a very expensive venture. People want to get it right the first time. What practical advice would you give to that person out there, whether it's somebody looking to import and they go and resell, or somebody looking for a first vehicle or maybe a second vehicle? What advice would you give them on how they ought to navigate the industry and think of the industry right now, and also to move forward with greater trust? People are very skeptical now of importing the wrong thing.
Right. Yeah, to touch on that, I think, people need to gather more information. I'll continuously say this, and this is from experience standpoint, right? A lot of people come in, they don't have the information, they're basing themselves just off of price. And in this industry now, it's more so information. As a person seeing it, we have people coming in and saying, hey, look, I've been burnt before because this person say this price, and at the same time it end up being this price. And that's where I've seen the biggest problem happen. So I always go back to information. If you have the right information starting from the start, whether it's purchasing locally or even importing a vehicle, as we like to say, it starts with the base information that would ultimately allow the success of you attaining a very valuable vehicle.
It's so important, because we know, especially when importing from the United States, for example, we know that in different cities and states there are different things that happen and can happen to a vehicle based on the weather, the climate in that area, and therefore you want to be well informed. Why has transparency become super important to today's purchasing and vehicle market?
Yeah, transparency has very much so become very important because at the same time, if you start off not understanding one thing, it trickles down to everything else. And that starts, just like you say, reports, history of the vehicle, as everybody like to say, if it's a lemon, right? These are the things that you need to seed that would allow things to be more successful. And I've seen local dealers here, and of course we're importing vehicles, and they work hand in hand. Because if ultimately for that particular vehicle you have that type of information, that you'll ultimately get something reliable, and it makes things more transparent to know exactly what you're getting. Not only to mention infrastructure behind it.
Talk about the region and the purchasing power, and what excites you now today about the vehicle and the import vehicle market in the Caribbean.
Yeah, what excites me right now is that we're coming into a transparent phase, and what I mean by that is when it comes to regional, looking at this on a bigger scale, right? If it's structured, if we put infrastructure now in place, which is already in place, to be quite frank, that ultimately allows a success and uptake, not only for importers, but alike for everyone who's purchasing vehicles. Because ultimately, if that is in place, the more people know, the better that the sale would be in place, the better the people would be trustworthy of buying more vehicles, which would benefit everybody in the industry, honestly.
What does the future of Bid Caribbean and Lux First Choice Cars look like?
Yeah, so, I hope that, persons are able to gather all the information that they need up front, ask the right questions, and be able to decipher between, what's real to what's not, right? If that could be the positioning between Bid Caribbean and Lux, and people attaining their dream vehicles, the vision still stands for us.
Are you happy with the trust that your name, your brand, has already established here in not just the Bahamas, but the region?
That's a very good question. And what I would say to that is, there's an old saying, and they say that, trust is not given, it is earned. And that's what we stand for. And that's what I feel that the audience, the people, have been also giving us as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, of course, beyond importing vehicles, where do you believe the future of vehicle buying, how is that going to continue to shape up and morph in the region? And also, what role do you see innovation playing in the process?
What I see is a more connected infrastructure, right? And what I mean by that is, whereas we have an infrastructure that connects one region to the next region, right? And that allows, whether it's, again, dealers, importers, whether the vehicle is traded, whether the vehicle, is being sold by a private owner, that they can find their vehicle on one platform, right? Mm-hmm. Allowing people to search easily, find information very easily, and ultimately everybody wins from that.
Yeah. And obviously, if you are in the market for your vehicle, whether it's a first one, something you want to get into some industry, some business, Bid Caribbean is the spot, is it not?
Definitely.
How do people get in touch with you? I mean, I know that you're really widely known out there. I got this response after you appeared earlier this week. But how can people get in touch with you? Those who may be hearing for the first time or need to be reminded, how can they get in touch with your office and move forward?
Most certainly. So we have 24-hour support at bidcaribbean.co, or you can reach out to us directly at 1242-812-9510. And at the same time, we definitely look forward to seeing everyone with open hands and to assist in a better life.
Yes, absolutely. Joshua Paul from Bid Caribbean. You're going to hang around for another few days?
Well, most certainly, if the BPL kicks in, that's always good. We have some situations, but yes, most certainly.
Yes, absolutely. Once again, BID Caribbean on consumer education, innovation, technology, and helping you move with the times here in the region and having your dollar go very far in terms of purchasing power through innovation and technology and BID Caribbean. Thank you very much, Joshua Paul, for being here and sharing this information with the viewers, many of whom already trust you and know the name BID Caribbean is one to be trusted. Thank you so much for being here and for stopping by again. It's the second time this week.
Most certainly.
Well, don't go there, because when we come back, if you are in the mood for a treat, this lady, you all may know her from my industry, for example, but she's doing amazing, tasty things in another industry. We are back with, well, stick around, it's a surprise, right after this break.
Think you know a lot about money? Then prove it. What if one sound could win you big cash? Listen carefully. Then tell us exactly how much money went through the machine. One guess, one sound, one chance to win. Listen, guess, win. It's the sound of money. Brought to you by 103.5 The Beat. Powered by Island Lux Quick 5.
Has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay eating well.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At InvestStar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Everybody get up.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Good to have you all continuing to watch tonight's show. We're going to lighten it up a bit after all that ire from BPL and the power outage and all the rest of it. Well, I am going to sweeten things up for you, but in the best ways possible. As I told you before the break, I have an industry colleague who kind of is venturing out into other things, and the things that she is venturing out into, really the most tasty, wonderful treats we all grew up eating. Ice cream. Yeah, you scream ice cream, we all scream for ice cream. But this is dairy-free, sugar-free, and the fruits are all native fruits. She's been doing incredible with it. So many people are now buzzing about it. In fact, she's been at Gombe Summer in downtown Nassau all month long. You can see her there tomorrow. You will hear more about it. But before I bring her in, let me tell you what I was doing during the break. I already started eating this. Now, this flavor is Choco Nana. Choco Nana. You get it? So chocolate and banana. Who knew, right? Who knew? Let's just try this. Let's try this as I talk. More and more of you are into leading healthy lifestyles, and that is right. Excellent. We want that for Bahamians. But you want to also enjoy desserts, but not feel guilty afterward, or not having too much sugar, not having any sugar, in fact, because we know how dangerous sugar is for one's health. Now, I don't know if my team can zoom in here. This is ice cream. I couldn't put this down. I couldn't put it this. Good evening, Michelle Malcolm. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Michelle, you have, and I am so embarrassed, I'm licking the spoon on live TV. I mean, licking the spoon. Ellington, I hear you with the, I want to hear what flavor that is in a minute, but let me just ask Michelle. Michelle.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you, so y'all, sugar apple, I can't even get to the interview. You all know sugar apple, that is the cousin of soursop. This is a sugar apple ice cream. Let me show you this one. Look at this. Really nice. Oh. Michelle. I'm doing the show. I'm doing the show. Michelle, good evening to you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you here. First of all, congratulations on this.
Thank you.
Let's talk about this line, Tropicool Treats.
Yeah.
Where did this idea even come from? And then to do it so exceptionally, the packaging, this is really well done. It really is well done.
So I was reminiscing one day about my childhood. When I was growing up, my late Aunt Pat made the most amazing soursop ice cream. All natural, but it was loaded with sugar. And back then they weren't as health conscious as we are today. So I was just thinking about her and the ice cream one day, and I thought, how do I make this healthier? Because I wanted to have some of that. And so I started playing around with different sweeteners and eventually landed on agave. And I started making it for myself and my family and friends, and everybody was like, girl, what are you doing? This is a business. What are you doing? And I wasn't taking it seriously at all. But it wasn't until I attended a meeting of my church's youth leadership team, and everybody had to bring a dish with them. And I said, okay, I'll bring my vegan ice cream. They were like, vegan ice cream? I said, don't knock it till you try
when
it.
people hear, they'd be like, oh, jeez.
Yeah, right?
Keep that.
And at the time, I was using just a little ice cream maker that I bought in one of the local department stores, nothing professional. And so when I took it and I took my mango flavor, and they tasted it, they were like, you made this? So I said, yeah. And they were like, girl, what are you doing? This is a business. And one girl in particular, she was like, listen here, girl, my boss will write a check for you now, but he gonna want too much. I only want 25%. I don't see the money. So I was like, y'all gotta stop. And they kept insisting. They started talking about the business plan and the marketing and all this kind of stuff. So I said, you know what, maybe I should start listening. And I wanted to test it on a professional first. So I contacted Chef Edwin Johnson, and I said, Chef, I need a favor. I have a product I'm playing with, and I want you to try it, and I want you to be brutally honest. He said, okay. So he took a couple of flavors, and he called me back. He said, Michelle, you onto something here. He said, I could tell you I use professional equipment. He said, but if you want to do this as a business, I will tell you what equipment to get, and trust me, it will take it to the next level. The equipment wasn't cheap, but I got it. And he was absolutely right. It went from here to here,
Michelle,
in terms of the quality.
Right, like you say, that investment paid off because the consistency of this, I don't care how much vegan you describe it, how much dairy-free, how much sugar-free. Michelle, this is the consistency of ice cream. The ice cream I grew up eating as a child.
Yeah.
I have not had ice cream in eons. And even when you offered me and say, Shanique, now what you going to test? I was reluctant. Not because it's vegan, I subscribe to that,
Right.
but I was like, Michelle, I'm good, let's just talk about it. I don't really need to taste nothing. Tasting these, I can't wait to take this home and put it in the freezer and have it as a treat over the holiday weekend.
Yeah. And my slogan is all of the flavor, none of the guilt. So you won't have to feel guilty after eating this because it's a healthier version of ice cream. So it's made from all natural ingredients, the fruits directly from the tree. We sweeten it with agave, so it won't spike your blood sugar levels. We don't have anything in there that is artificial at all. It's organic. Even the stabilizer that we use is a high quality organic stabilizer.
Let's talk
all
about
natural.
Michelle, to talk about how careful you are with the ingredients. This is local. For example, this Choco Nana here, you all. This is local bananas, isn't it?
Grown in my backyard, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The now, native bananas, because you know the flavor is totally different than what you get in the food store.
Native bananas.
Yeah.
And then what's surprising, y'all, if y'all like chocolate ice cream, if you love chocolate ice cream, I'm a chocolate ice cream lover. This right here. You are also very careful to get the highest grade and quality of cocoa.
Yes. This is an imported cocoa powder, imported from Holland, and it's a low-fat cocoa powder. You can't tell it's low fat by tasting it, but it's only 10 to 12% fat. Because, you know, typically cocoa can be very fattening. But this is a low-fat cocoa powder imported from Holland, and it is full of flavor. So you get that authentic chocolate flavor
that is what
without all of
that
the,
is what this
you know?
gives. Then also there's no sugar in that cocoa powder, no different additives and the rest of it. You know, people are very, you all know this. We are all now paying so much closer and keener attention, Michelle, to what the ingredients are and whatever it is that we're eating. And imagine being able to feast on dessert and not have to scratch your head about something you're doing and afraid your doctor. None of the above. Ellington, now throughout this, matter of fact, when I got these two flavors here, Ellington grabbed another. Ellington, I want to just hear you because I hear you over there kind of
smacking.
Yeah, smacking. What flavor is that?
This is the mango. This is just melting away in your mouth. I mean, each spoonful is like you're biting into a big slice of a juicy mango.
There you go.
From someplace in the back.
And that's because that mango came directly from the tree. I didn't buy any mango pulp from anywhere. No, that came directly from the tree.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Michelle, that's one of the more popular flavors
Mango is
as
our
well.
bestseller. Soursop is giving it a hard run. Soursop is really taking off as well. But mango and soursop definitely are two bestsellers.
Well, wait until they get a hold of this Choco Nana and this sugar apple. I'm going to certainly, but like I said, understand, it's a long holiday weekend. I need something to say I'm looking forward to. This is exactly, boring? Not quite. This is really nice. Michelle, how big is the line now? And what are the other flavors?
So, wow, I don't want to take all your time naming over 10 flavors.
10.
Over 10 flavors and growing. But the thing is, some of them are seasonal. So, for instance, you see all around the place now all of the sea grape trees loaded with grapes, but they're still green. When they turn purple, look for some sea grape ice cream. That is one of our seasonal flavors. Juju is another seasonal flavor. So we do have some flavors that will only be out during the season, but then you have some that are going to be more year-round, like the coconut, like the choconana, like the banana, that kind of thing.
Listen, you all, you know, truly, I pride myself on eating healthy, choosing the healthier options and all the rest of it. I feel good knowing I haven't had ice cream in years and I didn't miss it either. But this right here made me feel as though, and I love the packaging, Michelle. This little container looks like when we were kids and we bought ice cream. Remember y'all? Really, really amazing.
Just the music missing from it.
What's the music? Ellington over here, you all listen to me. If he was on camera, Ellington over here, like he reminiscing you all. Michelle, let's look at health and nutrition. We know in the Bahamas, and this is what when you stress to me, no, Shanique, understand, the same way you did with the other people say, don't knock it. When you said to me, Shanique, no, this is something that I know that you are into health and wellness as well. And so certainly that's important for you and for me and for so many other people. Why should the discerning person who is exercising out there, who knows that sugar is not the best thing for them to have, or even dairy, why should they give this a try?
Well, you know, our slogan is all of the flavor, none of the guilt. Because no matter how health conscious you are, every now and again you want to treat yourself. But you want to do so in a way where you don't have to feel guilty after the fact. We are surrounded in this country by what are known as superfruits. And when we were growing up, we would be picking fruits from people's trees. Right. Now you see them rotting on the ground. Sugar apple, for instance, This is loaded with nutritional benefits for the body.
It's a cousin of soursop.
It's a cousin of soursop. So it's excellent for fighting cancer. It is good for the gut. It is good for the brain. Sugar apple. You know what I mean? And so all of the fruits, many of the fruits that we have around in the country are superfruits, loaded with nutrition. And we just found a way to incorporate the natural fruits, again, sweetened with agave so it won't spike your blood sugar levels. It's just a healthier option.
Are there plans to take this, because I know you've been at Gumbe Summer all month long, and you're going to be there again tomorrow, so you all, don't take my word for it. No, seriously, don't. See if I lied to you tonight. But go there tomorrow at Gumbe Summer and visit Michelle and try your own flavor, your own wonderful flavor. But I want to know, are there plans to expand this, to introduce this really to the market so more people could get onto something healthy and still enjoy dessert?
So right now it's available at New Life Health Food Store on East Street South in the Independent Shopping Plaza, Tasty Caribbean Delights on Faith Avenue North, and Tiki Bikini on Junkanoo Beach. But I just inked a deal this week with J. Mel Rubis service stations.
Super, yes.
And so it's going to be available at their Gladstone Road.
Oh, congratulations, Michelle.
Faith Avenue North and Robinson Road locations, right near Cape of Bahamas. And those 3 locations. We're starting it out with just those 3. And once we see how it goes, then we're going to roll it out to all of the JML locations across the country.
Michelle, congratulations to the,
Thank you.
It's so important to see Bahamians doing unique things, and this is absolutely unique. This is something that's a welcome addition to the health and wellness space, because we know, of course, everything we put in our bodies either feeds or
harms
or prevents illnesses. And so this is super important for us. But forget the health stuff. I know you're all trying to say, Shanique, we just want to enjoy it. I'll tell you, Michelle, this is amazing.
You can do both.
I like that.
You can enjoy it, but it's also, with the confidence knowing it's a healthy product. I have to tell the story real quick.
Go ahead.
Time. So this lady came to my booth at Gumbe Summer last week, Friday, and she had a photograph of our soursop cover on her phone. So she said, Miss, I've been all over the place looking for this. I said, huh? She said, my husband came here last week and he bring home this soursop ice cream and he forget the place where you tell him to go buy it. I said, oh no. She said, we've been driving all over Nassau looking for this ice cream. And just unfortunately when she came, I had already sold out of soursop for the day. I said, Miss, I'm so sorry, I don't have any more soursop left. I said, I can offer you another flavor. She said, no, I'm pregnant and my baby wants soursop.
The baby wants soursop, yes, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you, ma'am, you are in luck. Once again, these will be sold at Select Rubis. You heard exactly the locations Michelle said. Then they're also available at the Tiki Hut on Junkanoo Beach. Where else?
New Life Health Food Store on East Street South in the Independence Plaza. And Tasty Caribbean Delights on Faith Avenue North. Those are the locations at this time.
At this time. And she's growing. I'll tell you, I've seen it as well, because a number of special events and various agencies reach out to Michelle to come and bring her product, this wonderful line, to their events.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah. Michelle, I'm so... that's right, Michelle. I am so proud of you. I am happy for you. This is amazing. It truly is stunning, and I am going to enjoy these wonderful cartons right here of beautiful, locally made ice cream with the best fruits and the best ingredients ever. Thank you.
Thanks
so
for
much.
having me.
Feel free. Oh, my pleasure. Don't forget. So, Tropicool Treats, Michelle Malcolm, will be at the Gumbe Summer Festival tomorrow on Bay Street. By the way, that's a closing, huh?
Yeah, Bay Street is going to be closed for it.
Yeah, no, it is. But I'm saying that's the end of Gumbe.
Oh, yeah. This is the final one. So definitely come out and enjoy.
Yeah, it's been all month long. So go there and have fun with the family tomorrow. And of course, go and stop by Michelle's booth and try any flavor you want. And hit me up and tell me exactly how amazing it is. Michelle, thank you once again
for
being here. And I want to say a huge thank you to all of you for joining me this evening. It's really been a pleasure. Of course, we all pray tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, to all of tonight's guests, thank you for being here. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone. See you tomorrow evening.
The Verizon Media Group, home of ILTV, Paramount Systems Limited,